Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna. Damodara Radha, Damodara Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha, Damodara Radha, Damodara Shri Radhe. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura, Hari Bol. Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Shri Prabhupada ki, Shri Radha Damodara ki, Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Iskon Prabhupada Devi Function Guru Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 3, chapter number 32, titled Entanglement in Fruitive Activities, text number 9. Shama bodhna nalanila viyanmana indriyartha. Shamam bodhna lanila viyanmana indriyartha. Bhuta divi parivritam pratisanjihirshu. Bhuta divi parivritam pratisanjihirshu. Avyakritam visati yadhi gunatrayatma. Avyakritam visati yadhi gunatrayatma. Kalam parakyam anubhuya parasvayambhu. Kalam parakyam anubhuya parasvayambhu. Shamambhu nala nila viyanmana indriyartha. Bhutadivi parivritam pratisanjihirsu Avyakritam visati yadhi gunatrayatma Kalam parakyam anubhuya parasvayambhu Mataji. Word for word translation. Shama, earth. Amba, water. Anala, fire. Anila, air. Viyat, ether. Manaha, mind. Indriya, the senses. Artha, the objects of the senses. Bhuta, ego. Adibihi, and so on. Parivritam, covered by. Pratisanjihirshu, desiring to dissolve. Avyakritam, the changeless spiritual sky. Visati, he enters. Yarhi, at which time. Gunatraya Atma, consisting of the three modes. Kalam, the time. Para-akyam, two paradhas. Anubhuya, after experiencing Paraha, the chief, Swayambhu, Lord Brahma. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: after experiencing the inhabitable time of the three modes of material nature, known as two paradas, Lord Brahma closes the material universe, which is covered by layers of earth, water, air, fire, ether, mind, ego, etc., and goes back to Godhead. Purport: the word avyakritam is very significant in this verse. The same meaning is stated in Bhagavad Gita in the word sanatan. This material world is vyakrita, or subject to changes, and it finally dissolves. But after the dissolution of this material world, the manifestation of the spiritual world, the sanatana dharma, remains. That spiritual sky is called avyakrita, that which does not change, and there the Supreme Personality Godhead resides. When, after ruling over the material universe under the influence of the time element, Lord Brahma desires to dissolve it and enter into the kingdom of God, others then enter with him. Om Gyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksurumnitamena Tasmei Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So thank you everyone for coming to Srimad Bhagavatam class today. So this is a very auspicious time. We're just at the start of Kartik Mas. Any spiritual activity we do, we get 1,000 times the benefit. So attending one Bhagavatam class equals to attending 1,000 Bhagavatam classes. Distributing one book equals to distributing 1,000 books. So on and so forth. Same with chanting the holy name or any spiritual activity. So that's why during this month, the most auspicious month of Kartik or Damodar Mas, devotees, they increase their devotional service, increase their hearing and chanting, and devotees, they make some commitment, make some vow of chanting extra rounds, doing more reading, doing more seva, so on and so forth. And one important thing in relation to this, I was hearing from Amarendra Prabhu, he was explaining that devotees all around the world, they make so many vratas and vows to follow during this month. But he was saying that many devotees, they forget that before they take any vrata or vow, they're supposed to go and consult their senior authorities or their guides or their mentors or their spiritual masters, and they're supposed to take their blessings before making any commitment to any vow or vrata. In this way, by taking guidance from senior devotees, taking their blessings in that mood, that proper etiquette, we're supposed to follow a particular vrata or vow during this month of increased hearing and chanting. Because Prabhu was explaining many times, we come up, on our own, that okay, during Kartik I'll do this, during Kartik I'll do that. And many of the things we plan to do, could be beyond us. And we might not be able to cope up with it. So therefore he was saying that we should always consult with senior devotees, then take their blessings, then on the strength of their blessings, then we'll be able to fulfill whatever goal, target, or vrata or vow we're planning to take. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he taught us the similar etiquette or the similar mood that every Vaishnava or Vaishnavi should have. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he had we read in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, Mahaprabhu, he was desiring to go to Vrindavan. He's the Supreme Personality Godhead. He could have just left and went whenever he wanted. But no, Mahaprabhu, he taught us the ideal example of a devotee by first seeking the permission and the blessings of all the other Vaishnavas. Although he is the senior-most devotee, and although he is the Supreme Personality Godhead, he doesn't need to take anyone's permission. He doesn't need to take anyone's blessings or guidance. Still, before he goes to Vrindavan, he comes and approaches all of his associates, followers, all of the devotees, and ask for their permission, ask for their blessings. And as the story goes, they keep delaying Mahaprabhu. They tell Mahaprabhu, okay, not now, now is not the right time. Soon Ratha Yatra is coming, then after that you can go, then Mahaprabhu waits, then after Ratha Yatra, then they tell Mahaprabhu, then this festival is coming, Janmashtami is coming, then Radhashtami is coming, then Diwali is coming, then Govardhan Puja is coming. Like this, they keep delaying Mahaprabhu. And in this way, they end up delaying Mahaprabhu's visit to Vrindavan by 2 years. So for 2 years, Mahaprabhu was just waiting and waiting and waiting. Then finally, after 2 years, the Vaishnavas, Mahaprabhu's associates, they give Mahaprabhu the permission. Okay, now you can go to Vrindavan. Then only Mahaprabhu goes. So you can imagine, he's the Supreme Personality Godhead. We read from the very first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. The quality of the Supreme Lord is that he's Swarat, or he is independent. He can do whatever he likes. But here we see the Supreme Lord, he likes to come under the control of his devotees. And by his personal example, he's teaching that a Vaishnava, he should follow this etiquette. Before doing anything, making any big decision in his life, any big commitment in his life, he's supposed to take guidance from senior devotees, and most importantly, take their blessings. So Vaishnava, he always feels that on his own endeavor, he can't accomplish anything. He feels himself very incapable. And therefore, he always seeks the blessings and empowerment of senior Vaishnavas and of the Supreme Personality Godhead. So Mahaprabhu, he personally demonstrated this. So we can keep this in our mind whenever we're taking any vratas or any commitments. We should always seek the blessings of our senior devotees, take their guidance, and then they will be successful. So now coming to this verse, yesterday His Grace Madan Mohan Prabhu, he was explaining very nicely of how we should be grateful to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhu was explaining that here we see Brahma, he is there in Brahma Loka, in the topmost planetary system, and all of his associates are there with him. And for Brahma and all of his associates, for them to go back to Godhead, they have to wait, for so many, the lifespan of Brahma, I think is 3.14 trillion years. So this is how long Lord Brahma and all of his associates, all of the inhabitants of Brahma Loka have to wait before they can go back home, back to Godhead. 3.14 trillion years. So that is the duration of Brahma's life. Then after Brahma's 100 years finishes, then this material world is dissolved. Then Lord Brahma and everyone who is present in Brahma Loka, they all go back home, back to Godhead. But His Grace Madan Mohan Prabhu was explaining yesterday that by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, just in a very few short, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, we can all go back home, back to Godhead by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. So yesterday Prabhu was explaining that according to acharyas like Srila Vishnava Chakri Thakur, it actually takes many births before one can qualify himself to go back to the spiritual world. Firstly, one needs to take one birth. Prabhu was explaining, quoting Vishnava Chakri Thakur, that first one is to take birth in Vrindavan, stay in Vrindavan, for his whole life, chant 64 rounds, not leave Vrindavan. Then he gives up his body, then takes birth again in Vrindavan for a second life as a Brajavasi. Then gives up his body, then takes birth again a third time. And the third birth is in any material universe where Krishna is personally performing his pastimes. So then he will participate in Krishna's pastimes where Krishna is performing in a particular universe, and only then, after the third birth, one qualifies himself to go back to Goloka Vrindavan. So this is the general procedure. But Prabhu was explaining that Prabhupada is so merciful, he gave us this benediction that you just simply follow what I am saying, and in this very life I will take you all back home, back to Godhead. So Prabhupada, he used to say that I have the key to the back door of Goloka Vrindavan. and you just hold on to my dhoti, I will sneak you into Goloka Vrindavan through the back door. So this is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, mercy of the spiritual master. Prabhupada was explaining that Krishna's pure devotees, they are so dear to Krishna, that whatever his pure devotees say, Krishna will make that come true. Even though whatever the pure devotee says might be, something different or something extraordinary, still Krishna will change things around to fulfill the words of his pure devotee. So in this way we can develop, so much gratitude for what Srila Prabhupada has given us. So we're all eternally indebted to Srila Prabhupada. Now in today's purport, Srila Prabhupada is explaining about the material world and the spiritual world. I'll just read a section of the purport. The word avyakritam is very significant in this verse. The same meaning is stated in Bhagavad Gita in the word sanatan. This material world is vyakrita, or subject to changes, and it finally dissolves. But after the dissolution of this material world, the manifestation of the spiritual world, the sanatan dhamma remains. That spiritual sky is called avyakrita, that which does not change. And there the Supreme Personality Godhead resides. So it's given once in every day of Brahma, Krishna, he descends down to this material world. And in the Shastras we study, there's many different reasons given of why Krishna personally descends here into this material world. But the one reason given, said to be the most significant, is that Krishna comes to this material world to perform his beautiful Vrindavan pastimes. Why? To attract the fallen conditioned souls back home, back to Godhead. So Prabhupada, he used to give the example, just like a loving father, he has many children, and some of the children have left him and gone away. So for the father, his children, they mean the most to him, and he's always in anxiety, thinking about the well-being of those children who have ran away from home. So in the same way, Sri Sri Radha Gopinath, they're always worried about the conditioned souls suffering in this material world. So Krishna, feeling compassion for them, the Shastras explain, Krishna descends to this material world and performs his Vrindavan pastimes. And these pastimes are then recorded in the Shastras, and then for the next, hundreds and thousands of generations, who is being born in the material world, they get to hear these pastimes that Krishna performed, and by hearing these pastimes, they get purified. By hearing these Vrindavan pastimes, they get attracted. Wow, Krishna is so nice, Krishna is so beautiful, Krishna is so merciful. I want to be with Krishna, I want to go to Vrindavan, I want to go to Goloka Vrindavan. So in this way one gets attracted. So this is said to be the number one reason of why Krishna appears here in this material world. So this is mentioned by Mother Kunti in the first canto of Bhagavatam. So if we read her prayers to Krishna, when Krishna is leaving Hastinapur and going to Dwarka, she offers a series of prayers, and in her prayers she states different possible reasons of why Krishna appears in this material world. And then finally, the verse which the Acharya said is the actual reason why Krishna descends, explains this point, that Krishna comes here to create pastimes by which we'll get attracted, to create content for us to discuss about, to get attracted to. So during this Damodar Mas, one of the specific things recommended is that we're supposed to hear pastimes of Krishna, increase our hearing and chanting of Krishna's pastimes. And the most famous Leela is that of Mother Yasoda binding Lord Krishna on the day of Diwali, which is just the day before Govardhan Puja. So I thought we can discuss a little bit about Damodar Leela, and this will help us meditate during the rest of the month. So one pastime I was hearing from His Holiness Radha Maharaj, he was explaining that Krishna, he does things slightly differently every time he appears. So as we were hearing before, in every day of Brahma, Krishna comes. But whenever Krishna comes, he won't do things exactly the same way. Sometimes he'll do things slightly differently. For example, it's given Lord Nrsimhadev. In our 7th canto Bhagavatam, it's explained Lord Nrsimhadev, he appears from the pillar. But in other Puranas, it's given in other millenniums when Lord Nrsimhadev comes, he appears differently. It's given in other times when Lord Nrsimhadev comes, instead of appearing from a pillar, he comes flying in the sky and enters, into the palace or the arena of Hiranyakashipu. So in the same way, Maharaj was explaining, there's one pastime in Garga Samhita, which explains, just like start of Krishna book, when you open up, you hear how Mother Earth is overburdened by the demons, and she takes the form of a cow, approaches Lord Brahma for help, and then Brahma and all the devatas, they go to Shira Dakshai Vishnu for help, and then they talk to Shira Dakshai Vishnu. They can't see Shira Dakshai Vishnu, but Brahma is able to talk to Shira Dakshai Vishnu. I think even Brahma, he can't see directly Shira Dakshai Vishnu. But Shira Dakshai Vishnu, from within his heart, he speaks to Lord Brahma and tells him, don't worry, very soon Krishna himself will descend. And all of you devas and demigods, you also start taking birth in the Yadu dynasty, and that way you can participate in Krishna's pastimes. So in Garga Samhita is given that in a different day of Brahma, when it's time for Krishna to appear, same pastime happens. Mother Earth goes to Brahma, asks for help, and this time Brahma and all the devatas, they don't go to Shira Dakshai Vishnu. Instead, what they do, they enter into the Ganga. And as we all know, the Ganga goes all the way from the bottom of the universe to the top of the universe, where Lord Vamanadev poked a hole. So the Ganges water is actually the spiritual water that is coming from Karana ocean, where Karana Dakshai Vishnu or Mahavishnu is lying. So it's actually coming from Mahavishnu Loka. So in this way, it comes to this universe and it goes all the way to the bottom. So Lord Brahma, Mother Earth, all the devas, they enter into Ganga, and through the Ganga, they get transported to the top of the universe, and then from there they come to Mahavishnu Loka, and there they continue on rising, and they go all the way to Goloka Vrindavan to see Krishna and to appeal to Krishna to come to the material world. But as they approach Goloka Vrindavan, they see two gopis, guarding Goloka Vrindavan, the entrance, just like, we have Jai Vijay in the same way for Vaikuntha. So Lord Brahma, Mother Cow, and all the devatas, they come across two gopis guarding, and these gopis, they ask Lord Brahma and the devatas, and that, which Brahma are you, and from which material universe you guys have come from? And Brahma, he gets bewildered. He thought that there's only one material universe, and he's the only Brahma. Then they have to explain to Brahma that actually there's many material universes, there's many Brahmas, there's many Shivas, many Devatas. And then finally they enter and they see Krishna. And along with Brahma, Mother Cow and all the Devatas, Vishnu is also accompanying them. So when Brahma and the Devatas, they approach Shira Dakshai Vishnu, Shira Dakshai Vishnu tells them, let's go through the Ganga up to see Krishna himself. So Shira Dakshai Vishnu is also accompanying Brahma. And then as they go through Mahavishnu Loka, Mahavishnu, he also joins Brahma and the Devatas. So everyone is there in Goloka Vrindavan. There's Brahma, there's Shiva, there is Mother Earth, there is Shira Dakshai Vishnu, there is Mahavishnu. And they're all there to see Krishna and to beg Krishna to please descend to the material world. Then finally when Krishna appears, at that time Brahma sees Shira Dakshai Vishnu just going and merging into the body of Krishna. Then Brahma sees Mahavishnu going and merging into the body of Krishna. Then everyone realizes, okay, he is the Supreme Personality Godhead. From him comes Mahavishnu, from him comes Shira Dakshai Vishnu, everything comes from him. Then Krishna tells Brahma, okay, don't worry, I will descend along with all of my associates. So in this way, this nice pastime is given in Garga Samhita. So Krishna, he appears once on the everyday of Brahma, but every time he appears, he does things in a slightly different way. For example, another detail the acharyas give is, in our Bhagavatam it's given, 5,000 years ago, when Krishna left Vrindavan and went to Mathura, he went through the chariot of Akura. Akura comes from Mathura to Vrindavan and takes Krishna and Balaram on his chariot to Mathura. But it's given in other days of Brahma, when Krishna appears, instead of going to Mathura with Akura, instead he goes on Kalya. So he uses Kalya as his boat or as his cruise, and he rides on the back of Kalya, and he goes on a cruise through Yamuna. And through Yamuna, Kalya takes Krishna from Vrindavan to Mathura. So in this way, in different days of Brahma, Krishna will do things differently. So coming to Damodar Leela. So this pastime happened the day before Govardhan Puja. So the day before Govardhan Puja, just like before any festival, you'll see devotees around the temple all very, very busy doing different services in preparation for the next day. You see devotees making garlands, doing decorations. Kitchen will be packed full of volunteers, cooking bhoga, prasadam. In this way, the entire temple room, all the different rooms around temple will be busy. So in the same way, same thing is there in Vrindavan. The day before Krishna initiated Govardhan Puja, it used to be Indra Puja. So the day after Diwali, this is the day when all the Brajvasis used to worship Indra. But then later on, Krishna, he tells, as we know from Krishna book, Krishna tells the Brajvasis, why worship Indra? Instead, we should worship Govardhan. From him only we get everything. So then Indra Puja becomes Govardhan Puja. So this is the day before, the Indra Puja. All the gopis, everyone is making lots and lots of extra butter, yogurt and so many different items. So Mother Yasoda, she's also engaged in this way. And it's given on this day. She wakes up very early in the morning. And why does she wake up very early in the morning? Because early in the morning Krishna is asleep. And when Krishna is asleep, she has more free time to do her seva. Otherwise, when Krishna wakes up, then she has to attend to him, and it will be hard for her to do her household chores along with taking care of Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada used to say, if someone is serious about spiritual life, then they should wake up early in the morning. Morning is the best time for spiritual activities, especially the Brahma Muhurta. Just like it said during Kartik Mas, any spiritual activity we do, we get 1,000 times the benefit. In the same way, any spiritual activity we do during the Brahma Muhurta, the potency of that is manifold. So in the same way, Mother Yasoda, she wakes up very early in the morning to churn butter for Krishna. So she's churning yogurt into butter. So in Vedic culture, Prabhupada explains that, they would get milk from the cow, they would boil the milk, and all the family members, they will drink the milk. But there will always be some excess milk left. Now, what to do with the excess milk? They're not going to throw it. The excess milk is used to make yogurt. So the excess milk, you put some sour substance, you transform into yogurt. So that's how yogurt comes. Then when you churn the yogurt, like Mother Yasoda is doing now, from yogurt comes butter and buttermilk. So Prabhupada explains the villages, they will use the buttermilk to make, like we have jas, they say in India, and you take that with chapatis. And then butter you take out, separate it from the buttermilk, and then you churn the butter more, and then you get ghee. So in this way, Prabhupada explains, in Vedic culture and traditional villages, not a drop of milk is wasted. You get lots and lots of milk from cows, you boil the milk, you drink whatever you want. Excess milk, you transform into yogurt, then transform the yogurt to butter and buttermilk, enjoy the buttermilk with chapatis, Prabhupada says, and then the butter you churn more, make it into ghee. And Prabhupada says, for ghee and honey, there is no expiry date. Ghee and honey you can store for as long as you like, there's no expiry date. Of course, the ghee we get nowadays is not fully pure ghee, so that not so fully pure ghee could have an expiry date. But Prabhupada says in traditional, Vedic culture, when one finally gets ghee, they can just store that for as long as they like. And honey also, Prabhupada says, has no expiry date. So in this way, Mother Yasoda, very early in the morning, she's churning the yogurt into butter for Krishna. And she's personally doing this and not letting her maidservant to do this. So Mother Yasoda, she's the queen, is given Nanda Maharaj is like the king of Vrindavan, and Mother Yasoda is the queen, so she has many maidservants. So she could have got her maidservants to do that, but Prabhupada explains that she personally wants to do it because of her love for Krishna. Prabhupada also gives the example of the goddesses of fortune in Vaikuntha. It's given that in Vaikuntha there is no dust, everything is fully clean. Here, dust starts sucking out, rubbish starts sucking out. After Sunday feast, there'll be, rubbish everywhere, we have to clean. And we always have to, continuously, every day, someone has to clean the temple room, clean the foyer, clean the car park, clean the bathrooms, so on and so forth, clean the kitchen. But in Vaikuntha, Prabhupada explains, everything is always clean. There is no dust, there is no rubbish, there is no dirt, nothing. Still, Prabhupada says, if we go to Goloka Vrindavan, we will see all the goddesses of fortune, all the Lakshmis, they will be sweeping the floor, they will be mopping the floor, they will be scrubbing the walls, they will be constantly engaged in cleaning. And Prabhupada explains, how come, there's no dust, there's no dirt, why are they cleaning? Is it just a waste of time? No, Prabhupada says, out of the intense love for the Supreme Lord, they want to attract the attention and the mercy of the Supreme Lord. So therefore they're constantly engaged in seva to please Krishna. So that is the perfection of the lives of all the devotees. The devotees' only desire is how to please Krishna. Devotees' only desire is how to bring a smile onto the lotus face of Sri Krishna. And if Krishna is happy, the devotee is fully satisfied. Just like this nice pastime of one of our acharyas. I forgot the names of which acharyas, but it's given there's one acharya, he goes into samadhi, and he's just in samadhi and he's not coming out. And one day goes, 2 days goes, and all of his disciples, they're worried. What happened to our Guru Maharaj, what happened to our spiritual master? And this acharya is in samadhi and he's there in Goloka Vrindavan. And what has happened in Goloka Vrindavan is that Srimati Radharani, she has lost her nose ring or earring. She has lost one of her rings in the Yamuna. And everyone is trying to search for this earring. So this Acharya, he's a manjari in the spiritual world. He's one of the assistants of the gopis. So he's trying to find this ring of Srimati Radharani. And that's why he's in samadhi, he's not coming out, because he's searching, he can't find. Then one of his senior disciples, he then goes into samadhi and then enters into that pastime and Vrindavan, and he starts assisting his spiritual master in the spiritual world to find that ring of Srimati Radharani. Then he's searching, then he finally finds the ring. And what does he do? Does he go and give it to Srimati Radharani herself? No. He goes and gives it to his spiritual master. Then his spiritual master takes it and gives it to Rupa Manjari. And then Rupa Manjari takes that ring, gives it to, Lalita. Then Lalita takes that ring and gives it to Srimati Radharani. And when Srimati Radharani, she gets the ring, she smiles, in happiness that the ring has found. And when Lalita, Saki, Rupa Manjari, this Acharya is a Manjari and his disciple as another Manjari, when they see Srimati Radharani smile, they're all in complete ecstasy, they're all in complete happiness. So from this pastime we see the nature of the spiritual world. If we want to go back to Goloka Vrindavan, we should have that consciousness that our happiness is in the happiness of Shri Shri Radha Gopinath. Our happiness is in the happiness of our spiritual master. So this is happiness for a devotee or a Vaishnava or Vaishnavi, that he simply desires to bring a smile onto the lotus face of his spiritual master, or onto the face of Shri Shri Radha Gopinath. So, in this way, the goddess of fortune, Prabhupada explains, although the spiritual world is fully clean, they're constantly engaged in cleaning, in brooming, mopping, sweeping, wiping, everything. Why? Because they want to attract the attention of Krishna, they want to please Krishna. Srila Bhaktisaranga Saraswati Thakur used to say, don't try to see Krishna, but instead try to do some seva, try to do some service in such a way that Krishna will come and try to see you. That, wow, this devotee is doing such nice, wonderful seva for me. So Mother Yasoda, in the same way, she was personally taking the responsibility of churning yogurt into butter for Krishna. Although she had many maidservants, she was personally doing it herself. And she was thinking that my Krishna, he is always going to other people's houses, and stealing butter. Maybe the reason he's stealing butter in other people's houses is the butter he's getting in my house is not tasty enough. So instead of letting my maidservants do it, I will personally do it myself, and I will make the most tasty butter for my dear Krishna. So my Krishna will be fully satisfied, and he won't go out to steal butter from the other gopis' houses. So as we all know, there's so many pastimes, beautiful pastimes of Krishna going to different houses to steal butter. And although the other gopis used to come and complain to Mother Yasoda, they actually secretly liked Krishna coming to the house and steal butter. And it's given that they personally used to make the butter, hoping or desiring that Krishna would come and steal from the house. But just to have fun, they used to come and complain to Mother Yasoda. That was like their Krishna Katha. Just like we all love hearing about Krishna, and we all also love talking about Krishna with others. Same way the elderly gopis, they like to talk about Krishna, what naughty activities they did. So they used to talk about Krishna in the form of complaints to Mother Yasoda. And they used to feel some sort of pity upon Mother Yasoda, thinking that Mother Yasoda, she doesn't get to witness all of these very sweet pastimes of his dear Krishna, stealing, doing this, doing that, doing this naughty activity, doing that naughty activity. So let us go and reveal these wonderful naughty pastimes of her dear son to Mother Yasoda. Otherwise, Mother Yasoda, she is missing out on all of these wonderful pastimes. Just like when we hear some nice lecture, immediately we share with some devotee, that, I heard this pastime in this lecture, this Maharaj was saying this, or he shared this pastime I never heard, or he shared this nice detail about this pastime. So just like we share something nice we heard in a lecture with other devotees, in the same way the elderly gopis, they're seeing Krishna doing all these naughty activities, naughty pastimes, and they want to share this with Mother Yasoda. They're thinking, Mother Yasoda, she's missing out on all of these wonderful pastimes. So they used to share this in the form of complaints. Yeah, your son is doing this, your son is doing that. And Mother Yasoda, she used to hear these complaints, and she used to feel ecstasy. She used to feel great happiness hearing these beautiful, loving pastimes of Krishna. So in Krishna book, there are so many beautiful details given that Krishna used to go, and some gopis, they would know that Krishna will come to steal, so they would hang the butter pot high up in the ceiling, so Krishna and his friends can't reach up. So then what Krishna and Balaram used to do, they used to get different furniture from the house, whatever they could find, and just stack it up and make like a hill. Then they would climb on top of the hill, and then Krishna will get a stick, and step one is to make like a raised platform by which Krishna can reach up. Step two was Krishna with a stick, he would make a hole at the bottom of the pot. Step three was all the gopas, they would take turns and stand underneath, and as the butter or the yogurt is dripping out, they would all get to eat some. So like this, Krishna and Balaram had different tactics for different houses. And some places there will be no lights, everything will be dark, but just by the effulgence of their bodies, the effulgence of their ornaments, they would light up the whole dark room, and they could see where everything is. And some place, if they couldn't find any butter or yogurt, Krishna and Balaram, they would become angry. It is given. They would go to the puja room, just like in our devotees' houses. All devotees, they will have like a living room, bedroom, a kitchen, and they will have a separate puja room where they would worship their deities, chant their japa or do kirtan. So all these Vrajvasis, they also had their separate puja room. So Krishna and Balaram, they couldn't find any butter or yogurt anywhere, then they would become angry, just go into the puja room, and they would pass stool and urine in the puja room. So in this way, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He was going into his own altar and passing stool and urine. So in this way, they used to perform so many nice pastimes. One time, actually, Krishna, he gets caught by one of the elderly gopis. And this elderly gopi starts dragging Krishna to Mother Yasoda, that, you always escape. Today I finally caught you. Today I will personally show Mother Yasoda that I have caught you red-handed. Mother Yasoda, she never believes us. She just laughs it off. She doesn't take us seriously. But today I have caught you red-handed, and I will personally take you to Mother Yasoda and chastise you. So she's dragging Krishna to Mother Yasoda, and then she starts talking to Mother Yasoda that today I have personally caught your son red-handed, and that I caught him stealing butter. Just see. And Mother Yasoda is bewildered, and Mother Yasoda, she looks and she says, "This isn't Krishna, this is your own son that you caught. What are you talking about?" And this gopi is bewildered. She looks behind. Actually, it's not Krishna, it's her own son that she is caught. And she's completely confused. And she's bewildered, she doesn't know what to say, and then she's feeling like so embarrassed. And then she just leaves and walks away. And as she's walking back to her house, she sees Krishna there. And Krishna smiles at her and says, "This time he was your son, next time he'll be your husband in the place." Like this, Krishna threatens this gopi. So in this way, Krishna used to have such nice pastimes. Even in Mother Yasoda's house, Krishna used to steal butter and yogurt for the pleasure of Mother Yasoda. So it's given one time, Krishna was stealing some butter in his own house, and Mother Yasoda, she catches Krishna. And then Krishna, his excuse is that, "Mother Yasoda, you have given me, this red bangle, around my wrist. And actually this red bangle is making my hand so hot, it's like fire actually. And because this bangle you put around my wrist is making my hand so hot, I needed to cool down my hand. So that's why just to cool down my hand, I put my hand in the butter pot. I wasn't stealing butter, just, it's actually your fault. You put this hot bangle around my hand, so I'm just putting it there just to cool my hand actually." Another time, Krishna was stealing butter, and it's given in Vrindavan. We hear that Vrindavan is just like a village. But it's not like ordinary village like we have here. There they have, everything will be made out of beautiful jewels, diamonds, and it's actually so much opulence there in Vrindavan. So Krishna, one time he was stealing butter in his house, and as he's stealing, he can see his own reflection in the wall or in the pillars, because the pillars and the walls, they're made out of beautiful opulent, jewels. So as he's stealing, he's seeing his own reflection in the wall or a pillar. And then as he's seeing his reflection, because he's just a little boy, he doesn't understand that he's seeing his own reflection. He thinks it's another coward boy there in the wall. And then he gets worried that usually, when I steal, no one watches. But today there's this Gopa who's seeing me steal in my own house. And if he complains to Mother Yasoda, I will get chastised. So Krishna gets worried. He's seeing his own reflection, and he gets worried that this Gopa is watching me steal. He'll go and complain to Mother Yasoda. So then Krishna, he starts having a truce. He starts talking to his own reflection and tells that Gopa that, okay, we'll have truce. I will eat half the butter, you eat half the butter, but you don't complain to Mother Yasoda, okay? Let's have a truce. Like this, he starts talking to his own reflection. And while all this is happening, Mother Yasoda is hiding and watching all this fun. So Mother Yasoda, she's in another corner of the room, and she's seeing all this fun. She's seeing Krishna talking to his reflection, telling his reflection, please don't complain to Mother Yasoda, let's have a truce. I eat half, you eat half, okay? You don't complain. And then as Mother Yasoda is watching all this, then she enters the room. And then when she enters the room, Krishna becomes afraid, and Krishna immediately starts pointing at his reflection and starts telling Mother Yasoda, it's not what you think, it's not me, it's him. He's the one who was stealing. I told him not to do it, but still he was stealing. It's not me, it's him. Like this, Krishna starts daubing his own reflection. Then Mother Yasoda says, okay, it's okay. No problem, I understand it. I know it's not you, it's him, it's okay. Then Mother Yasoda gives Krishna a hug. So like this, so many sweet pastimes are there. So as we were mentioning before, the reason Krishna comes and performs these pastimes is to attract us, to attract our minds, to attract our consciousness, and that way we can go back home to Vrindavan. So in this way, Krishna used to perform so many pastimes of stealing butter. So Mother Yasoda, she used to think that, why should Krishna go and steal butter from other people's houses? I'll make very tasty butter myself, so Krishna, there's no need for him to go outside. So that's another reason given why she was churning the yogurt herself. And she was thinking, okay, I'll churn this butter, make some nice butter, and I'll offer it to Lord Narayan. And that way I'll get the blessings of Lord Narayan for my son. And my son will have a very nice, healthy life. So in this way she was churning very early in the morning before Krishna wakes up. And as she's churning, it's given in Bhagavatam that just like in Vedic culture, Maharajas, they wear bangles. So as she's churning her bangles, they're making a jingling noise along with other jewelry in her body. And there's a churning rod. And as she's churning the yogurt, the churning rod is hitting the sides of the pot, and that's making another noise. So the acharyas say that the jingling of her jewelry, the jingling of her bangles and other jewelry as she's churning the butter, that represents, or that sounds like kartals. Just like in a kirtan, we have kartals, mridanga, and then we have a lead singer. So as Mother Yasoda is churning the yogurt, there's actually a transcendental kirtan going on. As she's churning the yogurt, she's feeling separation from Krishna. And in her mind, she's remembering Krishna's form. And with her tongue, she starts singing different songs about Krishna. So Prabhupada explains in Vrindavan, the Vrajavasis, either they themselves used to make up different songs about Krishna, or they would get some professional poets to compose songs about Krishna, and they would recite those in their spare time. So Mother Yasoda, early in the morning, Krishna is still in bed, she's churning the yogurt, and she's feeling separation from Krishna. So as she's feeling separation, to mitigate separation, she's meditating on the form of Krishna in her mind, and she's singing beautiful songs about Krishna's pastimes with her tongue, and she's hearing those pastimes in her ears. And as she is leading this kirtan, the jewelry which is jingling, that is like the sound of kartals, and the churning rod which is banging against the pot, that is said to be like the sound of mridanga. So in this way, a very sweet kirtan, just like we have a Mangalarti, same way Mother Yasoda, this is her Mangalarti. During her Mangalarti, she is singing herself, she herself is playing the kartals, by jingling her ornaments, and as the rod is hitting the pot, that produces the sweet sound of mridanga. In this way, her whole body, her whole existence is completely absorbed in service for Krishna. Her mind is absorbed in remembering Krishna's form, Krishna's pastimes. Her tongue is engaged in reciting Krishna's pastimes. Her ears are engaged in hearing those pastimes. Her hands, her whole body is engaged in hard labor, in churning yogurt into butter. So like this, she's churning butter, and that this time Krishna wakes up. And Krishna, he comes and he approaches Mother Yasoda and starts pulling on Mother Yasoda's sari. And Krishna in his mind is thinking, my Mother Yasoda, her first duty is to feed me milk. What is she doing? Churning this yogurt into butter. And the acharyas explained that Krishna in his mind is thinking, all these jnanis, they are churning all the shastras, so that someday in the future, after many, many births, they can come to my lotus feet. So Mother Yasoda, she already has me as a son. Why is she wasting her time churning this yogurt? She should come and feed me milk. So in this way, Krishna, he attracts Mother Yasoda's attention. And then Mother Yasoda, she feels happy seeing her child, wanting her service. And Mother Yasoda, she steps aside from the churning the yogurt, and she comes and she starts feeding Krishna milk. And as Krishna is drinking the milk, he's drinking in the bhakti or the bhava of Mother Yasoda, and he can't get enough. And he's just continuously drinking and drinking. So Mother Yasoda's love for Krishna is infinite, and Krishna, he can just go on taking the love more and more. But as this is happening, as the pastime goes, we know the milk on the stove, which is boiling in the kitchen, starts boiling over. So Prabhupada explains that in the spiritual world, everything is a personality. And Prabhupada gives the example that Mother Yasoda, the way she would check the rice is cooked is that she would just leave the rice on boil in the kitchen, and she would go and do some other household chores, and every now and then she would just call out to the rice, "Oh my dear rice, are you cooked yet?" And the rice would shout back, "No, not yet, Mother Yasoda." Then after Mother Yasoda continued doing some cleaning, some other household chores. Then again after 10 minutes, Mother Yasoda would say, "Oh rice, are you cooked yet?" Then the rice would say, "Yes, Mother Yasoda, I am cooked, now you can come." Then Mother Yasoda will go to the kitchen, take off the rice from the stove. So everything in the spiritual world has consciousness. Everything is a soul actually. Everything is a servant of Krishna. So this milk which is boiling over on the stove, he is also a servant of Krishna. He is also a devotee. And this milk, Prabhu, or Mataji, she is watching Mother Yasoda feeding Krishna milk, and he starts feeling anxiety. He starts thinking that, Krishna is taking all the milk of Mother Yasoda, he'll become full, then what use will I have for my existence? Krishna won't drink me. And if I'm not engaged in Krishna's service, what is the use of my life? Better I commit suicide. So for a devotee, he just wants to serve Krishna. If there's no opportunity to serve Krishna, then the devotee, he feels anxiety. So this milk Prabhu, he starts thinking like this, that, all the milk is going to Krishna from Mother Yasoda, Krishna will become full, there'll be no need for me. So what is the use of my life? Better I commit suicide. So that's why the milk starts boiling over and starts entering into the fire to commit suicide. At this time, Mother Yasoda, she sees the milk boiling over, and she becomes in anxiety. And then she lets go of Krishna, puts Krishna gently down, and she starts racing into the kitchen to stop the milk from boiling over. Now one question might come up, why is Mother Yasoda leaving Krishna just to save a little bit of milk? There's so much milk in Braj. Why just to save a little bit of milk, Mother Yasoda is putting Krishna down? So it's explained by the acharyas that this milk is no ordinary milk. This is actually a very special milk that Mother Yasoda was boiling for the pleasure of her son. It's given that Nanda Maharaj, he has 900,000 cows. And out of these 900,000 cows, there's a couple of very special cows. And these special cows, Mother Yasoda, she used to feed them special grass. And these special cows, by eating the special grass, they used to produce milk, which was, super, super tasty, like super, super nectarian. It would taste just like nectar. So that very special milk produced by the special cows, Mother Yasoda was boiling on the stove. And she was thinking that this special milk is meant for my dear Krishna, let me save that milk first, and then I can come back and feed Krishna. So Prabhupada explains in spiritual life, many times we have to prioritize service. There'll be many services, but using our intelligence, we have to do one seva first, and then do another seva next, then do another seva after that. So the question is, how do we know which one to prioritize? So Prabhupada says that requires intelligence. If we don't have intelligence, Prabhupada says we should borrow intelligence from others. Or pray to Krishna. Krishna will give us intelligence, how to prioritize service. So in this way, Mother Yasoda, she saves the milk But then Krishna, he becomes angry. And Krishna, to teach Mother Yasoda a lesson, he breaks the pot of yogurt which Mother Yasoda was churning into butter. And it's given that Krishna is very intelligent in breaking the pot. He doesn't want to get caught. So he gets a small stone. Like in the kitchen we have like a mortar and pestle that they use to grind the spices. So that small stone Krishna takes and he puts a hole at the bottom of the pot. Why? Because at the bottom of the pot, that is where the most weight is. So if you put a hole in the bottom of the pot, it won't make so much noise. If you do at the top, there will be more noise created. But if you do at the bottom of the pot where there is more weight of yogurt, only a little noise will come. So Krishna, he purposely puts a hole at the bottom of the pot, so very little noise comes and Mother Yasoda doesn't notice. And then Krishna, he quickly runs away. But as he's running away, he steps in some yogurt and leaves some footprints. So when Mother Yasoda, she comes back and she sees, she understands that who has done this? This must be my dear Krishna. I can see his footprints everywhere. And Krishna is there in another room, and Krishna is again stealing butter and eating butter. But as he's eating, he's looking around in fear. Anytime Mother Yasoda can catch me. And he's given this butter Krishna is eating in a separate room. This is like some very old butter produced many days before. So why is Krishna eating this old butter? And the Acharyas explain, Krishna is eating this old butter on purpose, thinking, in his mind Krishna is thinking, I will purposely eat this very old butter and I will become sick. And after I become sick, Mother Yasoda, she has to personally carry me to the hospital in Mathura. And she has to go through this trouble of carrying me to hospital. In this way I will teach her a lesson. This is what you get for not feeding me. Now I will eat this old butter, I will become sick. Then you have to take me to Mathura. You have to travel all the way to Mathura. You have to sit in the waiting line in the hospital in Mathura and you have to go through this austerity. This way I will teach you a lesson. Like this, Krishna is eating the old butter. And then Mother Yasoda comes and then Krishna, he runs in fear. Okay, we're just past 9, we'll have to stop the pastime here. We can continue some other time. Yantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jaguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Entire Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.